Samsung's A50 series of phones have been quite popular over the years, and the Galaxy A55 is the latest entry into this lineup. It brings improvements in build quality, display size, and performance over its predecessor, but is that enough to keep up with the fierce competition, especially now that it is going on sale on a regular basis this festive season? Well, I've used this phone for the past 6 months, and now I'll share my experience with you guys in this detailed, long-term review of the Galaxy A55. First, let's talk about the design and build of this phone. This phone looks and feels like a premium Samsung phone. You get a metal and glass sandwich design with the metal frame having a brushed finish, which looks really nice, especially around the buttons where you get a dual finish frame. The edges of this frame are chamfered to make the phone more comfortable to hold, especially compared to the sharp edges of the S23 FE. While this phone is big and bulky, its weight is perfectly balanced, as all things should be. In terms of durability, you get Gorilla Glass protection on both the front and back. The protection used on the front is especially impressive as it is Gorilla Glass Victus Plus, which is generally reserved for flagship phones. And in the 6 months of using this phone without a screen protector, there are no noticeable scratches. You also get IP67 rating, which means it is dust and waterproof up to 1 meters of depth, something definitely worth appreciating. So, in terms of design and build, this phone is easily one of the best in its price range. It definitely looks and feels like a flagship phone. Next is the display. Here you get a big 6.6-inch 120Hz Super AMOLED display. This display looks quite good and can reach over 1000 nits of full screen brightness, making it quite legible even in outdoor conditions. You also get HDR support in both YouTube and Netflix, and while Samsung hasn't revealed its peak brightness, the HDR content definitely pops, making it quite enjoyable to watch. However, this phone lags behind the competition when it comes to screen bezel thickness. The thick bezels on this phone make it look quite outdated. Audio is next. Starting with the stereo speakers, these can get decently loud, and even at full volume, there is no distortion. And the sound signature is also pretty good. The lows, mids, and highs are all treated well, making the sound feel balanced. Check out this audio sample. The audio recording quality is also quite good, and the Recorder app has this very useful live transcribe feature. Even the earpiece is fine. I had no issues in handling calls even in noisy environment. In terms of audio enhancements, you get Dolby Atmos support, a 9-band equalizer, as well as the ability to boost audio to suit your hearing ability. Coming to wired audio, I tested this phone with my Type-C to 3.5mm adapter, and the earphones sounded great, no issues whatsoever. Even in terms of wireless audio, you get most of the codecs, including the high-res LDAC codec, as well as Samsung's proprietary seamless codec. But this phone misses out on the LHDC codec. So in terms of audio, I have hardly anything to complain about. Now coming to the camera system, hardware-wise, you get 3 rear cameras and 1 selfie camera. The primary as well as the selfie camera are quite impressive, both in terms of hardware and image processing. But the other 2 cameras are a bit underwhelming. Check out these samples. In outdoor conditions, the primary camera offers good dynamic range, lively colors, and a good amount of detail. Even indoors, the primary camera impresses, especially with the way it handles artificial lights. The sensor is large enough to create natural depth of field with close-up objects, and the results look pleasing. However, when you want to get very close to an object, you need to switch to the 5MP macro camera. The results are decent and certainly better than other 2MP macro cameras. But you're actually better off taking close-up shots in 2x zoom mode. These results are way better than the macro camera shots. You can also take portrait mode shots with the primary camera. This works on non-human subjects as well, and the edge detection is impressive. Even with human subjects, the shots look great. However, you cannot take portrait shots with 2x zoom, which is disappointing, but there is a workaround for it. You can take standard 2x shots and then apply portrait effect later in the gallery. This only works with faces though. Coming to the ultra-wide camera, it does a decent job in most situations, but the results are soft on detail, and with high contrast scenes, it has a tendency to crush the shadows. Still, the color science consistency between the two cameras is good for the most part. With night mode, both cameras do a good job. The primary camera results are especially impressive. Coming to selfies, this phone does a very good job. The skin tones, details and edge detection are consistently good. With regards to video recording capability, the primary and ultra-wide camera can record videos in 4K 30fps, and you can even switch between these cameras while recording. However, there is no transition effect while switching, so the video just freezes while the phone switches between cameras. You can record videos in 4K 30fps with the front camera as well, and the quality is actually pretty good. However, there is no portrait video option on this phone, which is slightly disappointing. So overall, this phone has a fairly capable camera setup. However, the competition has caught up with Samsung and offers equally good or even better camera hardware. And their image processing is also more or less on par. So Samsung definitely needs to step up in this department. This phone comes with One UI 6 based on Android 14 out of the box and will receive 4 major Android updates up to Android 18 and 5 years of security patches. Out of the box, you do get some bloatware apps, and Samsung tries its best to make you install even more useless apps from its App Store, but within a couple of minutes you can get rid of all this bloatware, so it's not a very big deal. On the other hand, this One UI experience is definitely a big deal. You get so many useful features like the new circle to search, edge panels, lock screen customization and floating apps, and so much more. Even in the gallery app, you get so many cool features like instant cutouts and object eraser, including shadows and reflection eraser. And with good lock modules, you can unlock advanced customization, which can make your whole experience so much better. However, none of the Samsung's AI features have made their way to this phone so far, but other than AI, you get pretty much all the features One UI is known for. So the software experience is definitely the best part of this phone. Next is performance. This year, the Galaxy A55 is powered by the new Exynos 1480. These are the benchmark scores of the 1480. It provides big improvements over last year's Exynos 1380, but compared to the phones in its price range, it lags behind by quite a margin. At least in terms of sustained performance, this phone does a really good job, especially the GPU stability. And also, in day-to-day use, this phone performs really well. It's very smooth and responsive. For non-gamers, this level of performance is more than enough for day-to-day use. But even if you do some gaming, this phone is decently capable. BGMI can run at 60fps with smooth graphics or 40fps with HDR graphics. Call of Duty can run at 60fps even with very high graphics. But when it comes to heavier games like Asphalt Legends Unite and Genshin Impact, this phone can't maintain 60fps. Asphalt 9 used to run at 60fps without any problem, but after it transformed into Asphalt Legends Unite, this phone struggles to maintain a stable frame rate with high quality graphics, so you're better off playing in default graphics mode with consistent 60fps. And with Genshin Impact at the highest settings, the frame rate doesn't fluctuate much, but it always remains under 50fps. So this phone is not bad at gaming, but if gaming is a priority, this phone is definitely not made for you. Battery comes next. There is a good 5000 mAh of battery packed inside this phone, and the battery life is amazing. It scores high in the PC Mark Work 3.0 battery test as well as my YouTube video streaming test. And in my daily use, it can easily give me 7 to 8 hours of screen on time, even with heavy gaming involved. But when it comes to charging, this phone really disappoints. It supports charging only up to 25 watt speed, which is quite low by 2024 standards, and it doesn't even come with a charger in the box. I'm really not a big fan of this move by Samsung. It's high time they improve their charging speeds and at least provide a charger with their budget and mid-range phones. In terms of biometric security, you get an optical fingerprint scanner which feels a bit slow, and its positioning also could have been better. The face unlock system is decently fast, but obviously less secured. The haptic feedback provided by this phone is crisp, though it could have been a bit stronger. In terms of sensors and connectivity, you get all the usual stuff. The only things worth noting are that the proximity sensor is a virtual one, but works perfectly, and the USB port is a USB 2.0 port, so the data transfer speed is slow and you don't get video out functionality and DeX mode, which is only available in Samsung's higher end phones. In terms of network features, there is nothing to complain about. You get several 5G bands, carrier aggregation, voice over LTE as well as voice over Wi-Fi, and the best part is that you get a hybrid SIM tray, so you can have 2 SIM cards or 1 SIM card and 1 micro SD card, and you also get eSIM support. It's finally conclusion time. The Galaxy A55 is definitely not a value for money phone, even after the recent discounts and offers. You can get phones with much better performance and much better cameras for the same or even lower price. In fact, Samsung's own Galaxy S23 FE offers a lot more for a similar price. But if you want a Samsung branded phone with the premium design and build quality, big display, long-lasting battery, good day-to-day performance without any heating issues, all the cool One UI features and long software support, this phone is definitely worth considering. However, if you want better value for money, phones like the S23 FE and Moto H50 Pro will give you a more versatile camera setup, while phones like the OnePlus Nord, Poco F6, Vivo T3 Ultra and Realme GT60 will give you way better performance. Alright, that's the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed it and found it useful. Please like, comment, share and subscribe to my channel down below. Thanks for watching.